Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I am going to start with a new module, that is a website design, that is a part of the second year, or we can say the second semester module. Let me confirm with you, that is the second year module, that is a second semester module, that is a website design. Let you check. This is the second year, second semester module, that is your website design. So I'm going to start with this module in the today's class, and in the last class, that is in the Thursday's class, we are finished with the last module, that is employability and the professional development. Now I'm going to start with a new module, that is a website design. So let's start the session. Let's start with a new module. So basically this module, as a name advice, web designing, that is a designing of the websites. If that is a website, that is how to develop the website. What are the various criteria to develop the website? That is a web designing. That is, or we can say this is the practical approach, and some students say that do the practical approach. And so in this we study various, we can say the languages, scripting languages that is used to design the web pages. That is a web page design. So that is we can say the practical topic that is used. So this is a very good topic, or we can say the interesting topic that is used in the C++, or that is also used in the, we can say the audio.net, audio.net. So there are multiple web designing method that is used for the web designing. So that is a module, that is a web page or the website design. So let's start with the module. So as the name advice, website design, that is designing of the website. Now what is a website? That is a collection of the web pages. So when we develop the website, when we design the website, that is known as the website design. And there are multiple languages that is used to use in the website design. And in this module we study about the HTML, that is a hypertext markup language for the website designing, that is a website design. So let's start with the website designing method. So first of all we do one PDF, that is the basics of the website design, then focus on the one scripting language, that is the HTML. So we can say the take the expertise in the HTML. So first of all, just overview of the all the languages, that is what are the various scripting language, what are the various website designing languages, then focus on, or we can say expertise on only one language. So let's start with the some, we can say the overview of the website design, that is what is this module, what are the various topics that is covered in this module. So let's start with the website design module. So this is a module, that is a learning the website, that is the fourth edition, that is a beginner guide to the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, web graphics. That is what are the various graphics method, what are the various designing method, that is we can say what are the various scripting languages that is used in the website design, that is learning the website design. That is a beginner guide to the HTML, beginner guide to the JavaScript, beginner guide to the HTML, JavaScript, CSS, that is a cascading style sheet, and the web graphics. Now these are the various contents of this book. First is the preface, then getting started, that is where do I start, that is what is the web designing, or what are the various languages that is used in the web designing, that is what do I do, or what do I need to buy, what you have learned. That is the web designing method that is used for the web designing criteria, that is where do I start. Then next chapter is how the web works, that is what is the criteria for working the web, what are the various, we can say the methods of interfaces that is available in designing the web, that is how the web works. That is chapter number 22, that is overview of the web designing, what is a URL, what is a web pages, how to design the web pages, what are the requirement of designing the web pages, that is chapter number 2. Chapter number 3 is some big concepts you need to know, that is some more concept that you need to know about the web pages, that is what are the web pages, how to deal with the web pages, what are the various criteria to build the web pages. Then part 2 is HTML markup for structure, that is what is the HTML, how to use the HTML markup, that is HTML markup for structure. And this there is chapter number 4, that is creating a simple or creating a sample page, that is chapter number 4, that is how to create a sample page or simple page, that is simple web page, that is the chapter number 4. So in this we study about various steps, that is what are the various contents of the web page, what are the various information that is available in the web page, what are the various content, that is how to add the image, how to block the image, how to change the look of the website, and how to validate the document, that is creating a simple page, that is chapter number 4. Then chapter number 5 is making or marking of the text, that is how to use a markup in the text, what are the various content, what are the various ways by which we can mark up the text, that is a marking of the text, that is chapter number 5. And this we are going to study, that is what are the various tools, or we can say the tags that is used for scripting the language, that is used for marking up the language or the text, that is a paragraph, heading, list, more content elements, organizing the page content, inline element, rounding up, jumping element. So these are the multiple parts of the web designing concepts. Then chapter number 6 is how to add the links within the scripting language. So just overview of the linking tag, that is what is a link, how to use the link, what are the various methods for linking tags. Then chapter number 7 is how to add the images. Chapter number 6 is how to add the links. Now chapter number 7 is how to add the images. What are the various images that is available for adding them? What is the image element, and how to use the image element, that is a window in a, or we can say the window in a window. That is how to make the window within a window also, that is a window within a window, that is adding the images. Now chapter number 8 is table markup, that is the next part, that is how to use the table markup, or how to create a table in the HTML. Suppose we have created a table in the MS Word, now we are going to study how to create a table in the web designing, that is a website design, that is creating a table. That is a table markup that contains multiple cells, table accessibility, wrapping of the tables, and various table tags that is used for making the, or for marking of the table, that is a table markup. Then chapter number 9 is forms, that is how to create a form in the HTML, what are the various provisions to create a form in the HTML or any scripting language that is a part of the website design, that is a chapter number 9, that is the forms, that is how form works, what are the various elements of the form, what are the various variable and the content that is available in the form, and what are the various accessibility features, what are the layout design that is used for the forms. Then chapter number 10 is what's up, that is a HTML5, that is a HTML5 is the latest version of the HTML, that is what is the more, we can say, the enhanced feature that is available in the HTML5, that is a WhatsApp, that is a HTML5. Then part 3 is a CSS for presentation, that is a cascading style sheet presentation, that is how to present the CSS, that is we can say the new version, or we can say the next scripting language, that is CSS, that is cascading style sheet. And in this chapter number 11 is cascading style sheet orientation, and in this we are going to study what are the benefits of CSS, what are the big concepts in the CSS, and how the CSS works, that is how the style sheets works, and how to move forward with the CSS, that is what are the various provisions to use with the, or to move forward with the CSS, that is chapter number 11. Then next is chapter number 12, that is formatting the text, that is what are the various provisions to format the text, or what are the various content to format the text, that is formatting the text. So in this what are the various font properties, then changing the text color, then what are the various selectors, or we can say the selector type that is used for the change color, then text line adjustment, then underline and other documents. These are the various format, that is how to format the document, how to format the text with the help of the CSS, that is a cascading style sheet. Then chapter number 13 is colors and the background, that is how to change the color, not with the HTML but now with the CSS, that is a cascading style sheet, that is the colors and the background. Then chapter number 14 is thinking inside the box, that is thinking inside the box, that is how to create a box, what are the various methods to create the box, and what are the various provisions that is used for creating the box, that is the thinking inside the box. Then chapter number 15, that is the floating and the positioning, that is what are the various floating methods that is used for the scripting language, that is the floating and the positioning. So that is a chapter that is that deals with the, or that contains the topic, that is a normal flow, then floating, then positioning the basics, then relative positioning, absolute positioning, fixed positioning, test yourself, CSS review, floating and the positioning property. So these are the various topics that is available in chapter number 15, that is the floating and the positioning. Then chapter number 16, that is a page layout with the CSS, that is how to we can say how to generate the page, what are the various page layout, that is the landscape and the orientation with the CSS, that is a page layout with the CSS. Then chapter number 17, that is the transitions, transforms and the animation, that is how to move the transition, what are the CSS transition, what are the various CSS transforms, and what is the animation part, that is how to use the animation in the CSS, that is the chapter number 17. Then chapter number 18, that is the CSS techniques, that is CSS techniques means how to deal with the CSS, what are the various techniques that is used in the CSS, what are the various styles that is used in the CSS, what are the tables, or how to split the table, how to give the styles to the table. That is the CSS technique, that is chapter number 18. So that whole chapter covered in the, we can say, the part of the CSS. Next is a JavaScript, then create the web graphics. So these are the various topics that is available in this one. Now chapter number 1 is where do I start. So let's start with the chapter number 1, that is the basics of the website design. That is a where do I start, that is from where do I start, that is the chapter number 1. So the web has been around for more than 20 years now. So this is the just the introduction, that is where do I start, or from where do I start with the web pages. So this says the web has been around for more than 20 years now, that is the web has been developed from the now, or from nowadays, from the 20 years before, experiences erratic early expansion, that is an economic driven burst, that is it is designed, or it is we can say the used for more than 20 years now, that experience the erratic, or we can say the euphoric early expansion, that is an economic driven burst, that is an innovation driven rebirth and constant evaluation along the way, that is we can say that is used as a economic driven, that is used as we can say the benefit to the economy, because nowadays, or we can say the earlier days also, the web is a very demanding challenging job, or we can say the demanding challenging mode, that is used by the various organizations for their economic benefits. One thing is certain, that is the web as a communication and commercial medium is here to stay. That is the web is also used as a communication and also used as a commercial medium, that is here to stay. Not only that, it has been found its own way onto the devices such as a smartphone, tablet, TV and more. So it is more used as a tablet, more used in the tablet studies and more so on, that is the web designing. So it has been found onto the devices such as the smartphones, table, TV and the more. And there has been never been more opportunity to put web designing know how to use. There are more opportunities to put or to use, that is what are the various web designing method that is used, that is know how to use, that is what are the various design forms that is used for the web designing methods. So in this chapter we are going to study where do I start, or what does a web designer do, what are the languages that is used to develop the web pages, what software and the equipment do I need to buy. So these are the 4 topics that is used in the this we can say the chapter that I'm going to start study in this chapter. And there have been never been more opportunities to put web designing know how to use, that is what are the various opportunities how to use the web designing, what are the various mode that is used with the web designing, that is know how to use. And through my experience teaching web design course and the workshop, have had the opportunity to meet people of different backgrounds who are interested in learning how to develop the web page. This is the author point of view, that is author we view more than one persons, or more the person that have of different we can say the backgrounds, that are different experience, that have a different interest, that is how to develop the website. And allow me to introduce you to just a few. That is, I have been a print designer for 17 years now. I'm feeling pressure to provide the web designing services. So these are the various reviews of the different persons. I work as a secretary in a small office. My boss has asked me to put together a small internal website to share company's information among the employees. So these are the various requirements of the company, or these are the various, we can say, the prerequisites that is used in the company for the website design. And nowadays it is demanding more and more, because every company has a website and every company needs a good website that is available with the help of the website design. I have been a programmer for years, but now I want to try my hands at the design. That is, I'm working as a programmer developer in the company, but now I want to try my hands at the design. That is how to use the design. I feel like the web is a good opportunity to explore the new skill. That is, the web has a more demand. That is also one of the, we can say, the opportunity, one of the comment of the people. Then next is, I'm an artist. I want to know how to get the samples of my painting and the sculpture online. So what are the various mode that is used to sample the painting, and how to use the online painting, that is what are the various deals to you use with the online painting. Next, last is, I tinkered with the various web pages in high school, and I think it might be something I had to do for a living. That is, I tinkered, or I think about the more than one pages in, or more than one, we can say, the web pages in high school. Now I want to implement those web pages in the market in the practical way. Whatever the motivation, the first question is always the same: where do I start? That is, from where do I start with the web designing? Suppose I told you that I'm a good designer. So your first task is that, from where do I start? That is my first task. That is, from where do I start? That is what is the starting point of the web designing methods. And it may seem like there is a mountain of stuff to learn, and it's not easy to know where to jump in. That is, it is easy to know where to jump in, how to use jumping, and what are the various criteria to jump in. But you have to start somewhere. So you have to start with the somewhere. You have to start with the scratch. That is the starting phase. So that is we can say, the motto for the web designing methods. Now this chapter attempts to put the learning curves in a perspective by answering the most important question that I asked by people ready to make the leap. That is, in this module, in this chapter, we are going to answer all the questions that were different, or that are of opinion of the different persons. It provides an introduction to the disciplines. So this chapter provides an introduction to the disciplines, technologies, and tools that is associated with the web designing. That is, what are the various disciplines in which the web designing is used, what are the various technologies, what are the various tools that is associated with the web designing. That is the introduction to the web designing, disciplines, and the tools associated with the web designing. Now, first is, where do I start? So your particular starting point will no doubt depends on your background and the goals. I'm just coming within 2 minutes. So let's start with the where do I start. So your particular starting point will no doubt depends on your background and the goal. So it depends on your background, where you are standing, where you want to go. That is, it depends on your background. That is, where do you want to start, where you want to go. That is the background of the people. So your particular starting with no doubt depends on your background and the goals. That is, what are your goals, what are your background, that is detailed. So that is the starting points. Here, first step, or the good first step for everyone, is to get a basic understanding of what is a web, how to use the web, and how the web pages works. That is the basic understanding. That is, how to use the web, what are the various criteria for using the web, what are the various content for using the web. That is the first part. That is a basic part of the fundamental of the website design, that every person must know of the website is designing. And this book will give you the fundamentation, or the foundation. And once you have learned the fundamental, there are plenty of resources on the web and in bookstores for you to further your learning in the specific area. That is, how to use the web pages, what are the various content, what are the various fundamental content that is used with plenty of resources. And there are many level of involvement in the web designing. That is, what are the various levels of, that is, from building a small website for yourself to making a full blown career. That is, it depends on the person to person, that is how to use them. So either you can build a small website, or either you can build a big website, that is a full blown crown websites. That is a career. There are different levels of involvement in the web designing that range from building a small website to making a good or the full blown career. And you may enjoy being a full service website developer, or just specializing in one skill. So you will be enjoying that. Either you can work for the one basic method that is used, or the long method that is used for the one skill. And there are a lot of ways you can do it. There are multiple methods that you can use for the designing a website. And if your involvement in web design is purely a hobbyistic level, that is if you are in a hobby, that is you are in an interest to do the website designing, or if you have just one, two, or one or more web project that you want to publish, you may find that a combination of personal research, take advantage of available templates, and perhaps even interesting in a visual website design such as Adobe Dreamweaver. So this is the such theory that says that if you are involving in the website design, there are multiple tools that is used for the website design, like HTML, CSS, Dreamweaver. That is a multiple tools with this say that the technique that is used for the website design that allows you to need to accomplish the task at the hand. And many continuing education program that also offer the introduction courses to the web designing and the production. And if you are interested in pursuing the web design or production as a career, this is you have a habit or you are a hobby to create the websites. Now next is if you are pursuing in or interested in pursuing the career in the website design for the money payment, or we can say the for the job prospect, so you will need to bring your skills up to the professional level. So you have to brush up your skill to the professional level, and employers may not require a website design degree, but they expect to see working sample site that demonstrate your skills in the career. So but if you are going for the website design, we can say the jobs or the recruitment, so persons or the employer don't we can say need their degrees or your degrees, no, but they need their skills that shows by your website that is designed by the website, that is a simple website that demonstrate your skills and the experience. And these sites can be the result of the class assignment, personal project, or a sample site for a small business or the organization. So it depends on the person to person what are the various small sites, what are the various sites that is used in the website designing, what are the various methods for the web designing, and what are the various sites that is used for the small business or the organization. And what is important is that they look professional and have quality or have written clear HTML style sheet and possibly script behind the scene. That is how to use the web designing. That is what are the web designing, that is how to use them, what are the various tasks that is used by the web designing, what are the various level, that is a style sheet that is used with the web designing task. And getting an entry level job and working as a part of the team is a great way to learn how the larger sites are constructed and how can you help you decide what aspects of web designing you like or you would like to pursue. That is what are the various aspects that is used in the web designing and what are the various methods by which you can pursue your web designing. So this is the question, that is where do I start? That is if you are a habit, if you are a interest, if you are going to make a career in web designing. So it depends on the time to time, it depends on the condition to condition that is also used or that is used for the website designing. Now I just want to upload that you don't necessarily need to become a web designer to start publishing your words and the picture on the web. That is, you are not necessarily need to become a web designer, that you are not becoming a web designer to start publishing your words and the phrases pictures on the web. No, that is not a part, but you can start your own blogs or the personal journal site that is using one of the free or the inexpensive blog hosting services. So you can download or you can start your blogs. Blog means a personal information, we can say the private website that is available on the internet. So you can either create a blog, we can say the small website that is a personal website, or the personal journal site that using one of the free or the inexpensive blog hosting services. And these services provide the template that provides the spare that you need to learn the HTML pages that is still does not hurt. And there are some of the most popular blog site that is used, or we can say the designs that is used, that is a WordPress, that is one of the important blog sites, then Blogger, then the Tumblr. So these are the three parts. One is the WordPress, one is the Blogger, one is the Tumblr. Now another drag and drop site design and hosting service that goes beyond the blog is the Squarespace. That is the next part, that is the www.squarespace.com. That is the next part, that is the next part of the website designing. Now what does a web designer do? So what is the main role of the web designer, that is what is the role of the web designer that is used in the web designing task, that is the what does the web designer do? So over the years, the term web designer has become a chat or cat call for a process that encompasses a number of sequence or that encompasses a number of different disciplines, that is from the user experience to document markup to serious programming. So over the years, the large number of web designing has become a catcall for a process that encompasses a number of different disciplines. That is, what are the various experiences that is used for the processes, what are the various user experience design. So it depends on the criteria to criteria, designing part to designing part, that becomes that encompasses a number of different disciplines that ranges from the user experience design, document the markup, serious programming. So these are the various or that is a or that is a criteria that wants by the or that is wanted by the web designer. So what does the web designer do? That is using the or that is documenting the markup, that is using the serious programming. And this section describes some of the most common tasks, that is what does the web designer do. And this is a glance. So the term web design has come to encompass a number of disciplines, including, so what is a web design? That explain number of various tasks, that includes visual designing, that is we can say the graphical designing, then user interface and the experience design, that is what are the various user interface, how to design with the user experience design, then web document and the style sheet production, that is what are the various web document content and what are the various web designing content. We can say the web document and the style sheet production, that is how to develop the web document, how to design the web document, and what are the various style sheet production that is also used for the web designing. Then scripting and the programming, that is the next part, that is how to use the scripting or what are the various scripting languages that is used, and how to compile the scripting, or we can say the combine the scripting and the programming language together. Then content strategy, that is how to develop the content, what is the strategy, that is we can say the content title jobs. Then the multimedia, that is the next part, that is also a part of the web designing, that includes more than one media, for example audio, video, text at the same time. So this is we can say the number of discipline that is included in the web designing. Now come back to this one. So if you are designing a small website, and if you are a web designer and you are designing the small website, that is a small website means a website that contains only 15 to 20 pages, that contains only 4 to 5 links. So if you are designing a small website on your own, you will never to wear many hats. The good news is that you probably won't notice. Consider that the day-to-day upkeep of your household requires you to be a part-time chef. That is, we can say the requirement that you want to become a part-time chef, house cleaner, accountant, diplomat, gardener, and the construction worker. But to you, it's just the stuff that you do around the house. So this is around the, or this is the just the work, we can say the stuff that you do around the task. In the same way, as a solo web designer, you may be part-time graphic designer, a writer, HTML author, and information architect, but to you it just like feel making the web pages. So when you develop the websites, you can also work as a part-time web graphic designer, in the same way writer, in the same way HTML author, because you are developing the websites, in the same way information architect. But the main consent is that, but the main feel is that making the web pages, that is how to make the web pages, that is the main feel of the web designer, that is the main content of the web designer, that is developing the web pages. Nothing to worry about this. And there are more or also specialists out there whom you can hire to fill the skills but you don't have. That is, if you don't have a skill, if you want to run a company, that you hire the various employees, that is also we can say work for you, that is also used for the skill that you don't have. Suppose I have been creating websites since 1993 and I still hire programmers and the multimedia developer where my client requires interactive features. That is my requirement. My clients needs an interactive websites or interactive feature, we can say the good scripting languages, good hyperlinks. So for that I want to hire the various programmers and the multimedia developer as well as the web designers, so that my clients are satisfied, my website is good with the use of the various employees or programmers and the multimedia developers. That allows me to focus on the parts I do well. In my case, it's the content organization, interface, and the visual design. Next is, large scale websites are almost always created by a team of people. So if there is a content of the large scale organization or the large scale websites that are almost created by the large number of people, because That is a large website. Some task is assigned to someone, some task is assigned to someone. For example, one is the only the web programmer, or we can say the content developer, and one is only the designer, and one is only the people that is carried out the content. One is only for the designing purpose. So there are multiple persons that is involved in the large scale websites that are created by the team of the group, number or numbering from a handful to the hundreds. In this scenario, each member of the team focus on the fact of the site building process. So, every individual has assigned the task that is created by the member that is useful for from the handful to the hundreds. In this scenario, each member of the team focus on the facts of the site building process. If that is the case, you may be able to simplify, adapt your settings or current set of skills, that is writing, Photoshop, programming, etc. So if you have a skill, you can go for the website design, but your role is different. Either you can work for the web designing, either you can role for the web programmer. But the main motto is that creating a large websites or the good large websites. So I have divided the myriad roles and responsibilities. So I've decided the roles and the responsibilities, and that is covered under the umbrella term, that is the web designing, into four categories. So that we can say the divide the category roles and responsibility into four categories. What are the four categories? That is designing, development, content strategy, and the multimedia. As I said, when you want to create a website, so that is divided into four parts by four categories. First is the designing part, that is simply providing the interface, that is the designing the, or we can say the designing part. Then development, that is do the coding part. Then content strategy, that is how to develop the content. And the multimedia, that is more than one media is used, that is a multimedia. So that is a part of the, we can say the categories, or we can say the division of the large website, that is how to divide the work of the large website into multiple parts, like designing, development, content writing, and the multimedia, or the content strategy and the multimedia. Now let's discuss one by one all these broad four categories. There are multiple subcategories also, but these are the broad four categories, that is the designing, development, content strategy, and the multimedia. So first is the designing, that is designing. It sounds fairly straightforward, that is a designing. But even this simple requirement has been divided into number of specializations when it becomes to creating a website. So when I talk about the designing, there are multiple websites that is designed by the multiple programmers, that is the designing part. So this simple requirements has been divided into number of specializations when it comes to creating the websites. Here are a few of the new job description that is related to the designing a site, but bear in mind that the discipline would or often overlap, and that a person is calling herself the designer often is responsible for more that. So more than that is also used for the web designing, that is also used for the web content development. That is a discipline that is overlap, and that makes a person calling herself in the designer often is responsible for more than one of his responsibility. There are new opportunities, new job opportunities that is related to the designing part, but bear in mind that discipline must or often overlap, and the person is calling herself that the designer that is responsible for more than one responsibility. So whatever the responsibilities, whatever the task that is used with the designing, that is used with designing the job description, that is used for the making the assigned task. And the person is calling, or person calling herself the designer, that is responsible for more than one of its responsibilities. Now, user experience or user experience, interaction, and the user interface design. So these are the multiple parts. That is whatever the what is the, we can say the, what is the role of the user experience, then interaction, and the user interface design. And often when we think of the design, we think about how something looks. That is what are the various interaction that is used with the designing part, that is how something looks. On the web, the first matter of the business is designing how the site works. That is how the site works, what are the various contents of the working with the site, that is how the site works. That is the user interaction, and the user experience, interaction, and the user interface design. So when we think about the design, we say that something, how the something looks like. That is we can say the designing part. And on the web, the first matter of the business is designing how the site works. The first matter is how the site works. What are the various tools that is used in the site? And before picking the font and the color, it is important to identify the site goal, how it will be used, and how visitors move through it. That is, what are the goals of the site, what are the various fonts that is available in the website. So before picking the colors and the font, it is important to identify the site's goals, how it will be used, and how visitors move through it. And these tasks fall under the discipline of one, or the we can say the interaction design, that is ID, UI, that is the user interface design, the user experience design. So either it may be an interface design, that is ID, user interface design, that is the UI design, and the user experience design. And there is a lot of overlap between these responsibilities, and and it is not uncommon for one person or a team to handle all the three. So it is not uncommon for the people that is used with the web designing, that is used with the we can say the experience that is handled by the web designing task, that is the user experience, interaction, and the user interface design. And there is a lot of overlap between these responsibility, and it is uncommon for one person or handle to or team to handle all these tasks. So these are the various tasks that is required by the user interaction, and it is not that only one person can handle all these tasks. That may be a user experience, that is the interaction design, that may be a user interface design, or that may be a user experience design. So one person cannot handle this, but there are multiple persons who can work together in a team to gain the, or we can say that to develop a good website, that is a good large website. And the goal of the interaction designer is to make the site as easy, efficient, and delightful as to the use as possible. That is the main goal of the interaction designer, is to make the website user friendly, so that simply user can use it, and simply user can find the task, user can do the task, user can negotiate a task, user can simply click on the link and the new page will be opened. That is the user friendly. That is the main goal of the interaction designer. So that is used to make the site as easy, efficient, and delightful to the use as possible. Now closely related to the interaction designer, that is the user interface design. So one is the interaction designer, that is how to interact with the site, that is how to make the site user friendly. Now next is the user interface design, which tends to be more narrowly focused on the functional organization of the page as well as the specific tool. That is, what are the various requirements that is used with the functional design, that is used with the specific tools. That is how the organization work, what are the various tools that is used in within the organization, what are the specific tools like buttons, links, menu, and so on, so that the user used to navigate content or accomplish the task. So that the user used to navigate the content, that is a user interface design, that is the next part, so that the user can navigate, we can say the move from one part to the another part. And next part is the user interface, we can say the user interface design, that is over user experience, that is the next part. So the next job title in the web design reclaim for the user experience designer, that is a designer that takes a more holistic view, ensuring the entire experience with the site is favorable. So whatever the experience, whatever the user that is used, that is a we can say the favorable approach that is using the sites. And UX design is based on a solid understanding of the users and their needs based on the observation and the interview. So if we are using the user interface design, that is a main important design, that is a holistic approach that is used with the entire database, with the entire experience that is used, that the site is favorable, and there will be understanding of the users and the need, that based on the observation and the interviews. And according to the Donald's Norman, who claimed the term user interface design includes, so that is the main task, that is what is the inclusion of the user interface design, that is the all aspects of the user interaction with the product, that is how the user interact with the design, how the user interact with the concept, how the user, or what is the main aspects or all aspects of the user interaction with the product, and how it is perceived, learned, and used. That is how the user interact with each other, how the user interact with the product, and how it is perceived, learned, and used. That is how we can say the how it is possible. That is how the user interact with the product, how the user interact with the perceives. For a website or application, that includes the visual design, the user interface, the quality, and the message of the content, and even overall site performance. So for a designer to make the website design, the user interface that is also used, that is also a part of the website design. And the experience must be in line with the organization brand and the business goal in order to be successful. So whatever the experience, whatever the goal that is used with the organization brand and that is used with the business goals in order to be successful. That is the main experience of the website design. Now some of the documents such as the interaction design, user interaction, or we can say the user interface. So one is the interaction design, one is the user interface, one is the user experience. Might produce includes. So some of the document that is included in the interaction design, user experience, and the user document or user interaction, that includes the following tasks, that is the user research and the testing report. So let's take a break right now, then moves to this topic, that is what are the various documents that is included in the interaction design, user interface, user interaction, and the user experience. So let's take a break right now. Break now, let's start the session again. So what are the documents that is required or that might produce or that might includes while using the ID, that is the interaction document, interaction database, UI, that is a user interface, that is a UX, that is a user experience, that is what are the various documents that is required in this one. So some of the document that is required in the ID, that is the interaction document, then UI, UX, designer that might produce the document. So first is the user research and the testing report, that is the, what is the user research, what are the testing plan that is used in the user research, what are the various modes for the user research, that is what are the various methods for the user's research, that is the user research and the testing report. So a report that shows the user experience and the testing, that is one of the part, that is the one of the part of the one of the document that is included in the ID, UI, and the UX, that is the user research and the testing report. So understanding the needs, desires, and limitations of the users is central to the success of the design of the sites or the web application. So what is the website and how to use them? That is understanding the need, desires, and the limitation that is required for the user, that is central or that is the main part of the design of the websites or the web application. And the approach of designing around the user design or the user needs is referred as a user-centered design, that is also referred as a user-centered design, that is a task that is used for the user-centered design, that is a role, that is a category of the user-centered design, that is a UCD, and it is central to the complementary or contemporary design, that is a user-centered design. So site design often starts with the user research, including the interviews and the observations. That is a report that shows that the whatever the site design that requires the interview, that requires the research, that includes the interviews and the observation in order to gain a better understanding of how the site can work, on how the site can solve the problems, or how the site will be used. That is how it is used and how the site works. That is what are the various criteria for working with the site, what are the various content for working with the site. That is the site design and the development, that is the site design, that is also used for the website design. That is the website design, that is a part of the user interface, that is a part of the user research and the testing report. So so whenever the site design that is used with the user interaction, that includes the interview and the observation in order to gain a better understanding of how the site can work or how the site can solve the problems or the how site will be used. That is what are the various problem that is solved in the problem that is solved by the site, that is also used in the interview, also used as the interface, that is also used as the interviews and the observation in order to gain a better understanding of how the site can work or how the site can solve the problems or how it will be used. And it is typical for the designer to do a round of user testing at each of the phase or at each phase that is used, that is a design part, that to ensure the usability of their design. So it is not possible for each phase that is used for the usability of the design, and the users are having a hard time figuring out to find what content or how to move to the next step, then go back to the drawing board. Now next is the wireframe diagram. So that is also the document that is required with the user interface, ID, that is the user interaction, that is the ID, that is the user design or interaction design, UX, UI, and the ID. So the next document is the wireframe design, that shows the structure of the web page that used with the outline for each content type and the widget. That is what are the various content type, what is the various structure of the web design that is used for the content type and the widget. That is the figure 1.1 that shows. This is the figure 1.1, that is the wireframe diagram, that is what is the main logo, that is category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4, and so on. And the purpose of a web or the wireframe diagram is to indicate how the screen real estate is divided. So how the screen is divided into multiple parts, and how to or what to indicate. That is where functionality and content such as the navigation, search box, form element and so on are placed without any decoration or the graph designing. That is how the real estate is divided, or we can say the divided, and indicate what are the various functionalities that is used with the navigation, that is used with the content such as the navigation, search box, form element and so on, that are placed without any decoration or the graphic design. And they means that is a wireframe diagram are usually annotated with instructions for how things should work, so the development team knows what to build. So the development team knows what to build and how to build. That is a wireframe diagrams that shows that how the real estate is divided into multiple parts, and they are usually annotated with the instructions, that is how the things should work for the development team for the development of the task. Next is the site diagram that typically denotes the structure of the site as a whole. That denote what does the site look like. That is a graphical representation of the site. What are the various web pages that is available in this website. That is what is the home page, what is the email page, what is the frequently asked questions, and how the individual pages related to one another. So that indicates the structure of the site as a whole and how the individual pages relate with one another, and also gives the idea or the web designing services, and one of the example that is available is that is 1.2, that is used with this one, that is a home page, then there will be an email form, then frequently asked question, then book, then info pages. So these are the four parts of the home page, and there are multiple parts that is also used, that is a web page or the web design services, then text, then resume, then sample, then external link. So these are the various links. That is sample site diagram that is used with the site diagram, that is used with the, we can say, indicate what is the structure of the site, that is used as a whole, or the individual pages that is related with one another. Now next is the storyboards in the user flow chart. That is what is the storyboard, how to use the storyboard, what are the various flow chart that is used with the various sites. So a storyboard traces the path through a site or the web application. So a storyboard shows the or trace out the path. That is what is the path through which a site or application from the point of a view of the typical user. That is the persona in the UX lingo. So that is a storyboard. Storyboard means we can say that traces the path. What is the path that is used with the site? That is used through a site or the application from the point of view of a typical user. So that is a path through which or by which we can run our site, or we can go through the sites or the application from the input, or we can say from the point of view of the typical user. It usually includes a script and scenes consisting of screen views or the user interacting with the screen. So that it also includes some screens, we can say the some script that is used, and the scenes that consist of the user's view. So that consists of the user view means what are the various views that is available in the scripting that is used for the various designing, that is used for the various scripting languages. That is a storyboard that shows what are the various flowchart that is used, what are the various possible options, what are the various steps that is used to accomplish the task, and also introduces some introduction or standard page types. 1.3 or figure 1.3 shows a simple storyboard. That is another method for showing how the parts of a site or applications are connected that tend to focus on the technical details rather than the story. This is the Twitter of a team or the team spaces, that the TPUB, that is a share a file. So this is a typical storyboard that consists of the adaptive path drawn by the button schedule. Now next is the visual graphics design. So first part is over. Now the next part is visual graphic design. So because the web is a visual medium, means web is a medium by which we can see anything on the website, on the internet. That is a visual medium. Web pages requires attention to presentation and the design. So it is or web pages requires attention, so it gives attention, that is a web pages to give the or to presentation and the design. Graphical designer creates the look and feel of the site. That is the logos, graphics, type, color, layout, etc. That is the role of the web designer. So web designer creates the look and feel of the sites. That is, he or she is created the logos, graphics, colors, layout, etc. to ensure that the site makes a good first impression and it's consistent with the brand and the message of the organization. So but anyone that is a web designer that deals with the designing the website, the main target is to make a good first impression so that it has a good logo, it has a good graphics, types, color, layout, so that the site makes a good first impression and is consistent with the brand and the message of the organization it represents. And visual designers typically generate the sketches of the way the site might look as shown in the figure 1.4, and they may also be responsible for producing the graphic files, that is how the graphic file will be produced in a way that it is optimized for delivering over the web, that is mm, how it is delivered over the web, that is a look and feel sketches of a simple website. So that in simple terms, there should be a proper logo, there should be a proper graphics, there should be a proper type, and there should be a proper layout and the color that all must involve, that shows the look and feel of the website to ensure that the site makes a good first impression and is consistent with the brand and the message of the organization that it represents. So sorry. And the design may also be responsible for producing the graphic files in a way that it is optimized for delivering over the web. And if you are interested in doing the web visual design of the commercial sites professionally, I strongly recommend the graphic design training as well as the strong proficiency in the Adobe Photoshop or the Adobe Firefox. That is how to use with the design, how to deal with the various Adobe Photoshop designing. And if you are already a designer or graphic designer, you will be able to adapt your skills to the web easily. So if you are already a web designer, that is you, so you will be able to adapt your skills on the web to the web easily. Although this will not excuse you from acquiring a solid understanding of the CSS, HTML and other web technology. So that is a web that does not excuse you from the solid understanding of the HTML, CSS and the other web design technology, other web technologies. Because most sites have at least a few images. Even a hobbyist web designer will need to know how to create and edit the images at minimum. So if you have a hobby, then you want to see, that is, what are the various web designing tools that is used for the web designing methods. So there is a responsibility that is also used for the web designer, that is need to know how to create and edit the images at the minimum. Again, I want to note that all of these responsibilities may fall into the hands of one designer who creates both the look and the functionality of a site. But for larger sites with the bigger budgets, there is an opportunity to find your own special niche in the design process. That is how to use the design in part, how to use the bigger budget, and what is the main opportunity to find your own special niche in the design process. Now next is the development. So one is the usual graphic process that is done. Next is the development, that is the next part. So this is the style tiles. So another approach to capturing the look and the feel of a site is to create a style tiles which gives an example of color schemes, branding elements, content and the UI treatments and mood boards without applying to a specific web layout. That is a style tiles. That is what are the various styles. So we can say another um, approach that is used for the look and feel of a site is to create a style or style tile. That is create a tile that is used for the style, that is used that is one of the example of the color schemes, branding element, content and the UI treatments and mood boards without applying them to a specific page layout. That is without applying the specific layout, apply for the UI treatment, apply for the brands, that is applied for the specific task, that is applied for a specific role, specific page layout. And idea is to generate, or the idea is to agree upon a consistent visual language for the site. And for more on this technique, read the article says the style or style tiles and how they work. That is by the Samathan Varen. And visit her excellent site where you can download a template and the style. So this is a link that is given. You can go for this link if you want this link. Now next is the development. That is the development part. So a fair amount of the web design process involves the creation and the troubleshooting of the document. So whatever the fair amount of the website design that creates or that involves the creation and the troubleshooting of the document, style sheets, scripts and images that makes up a site. So whatever the fair amount of the web pages process that involves how to create the website, what are the various methods for creating the website, and how to troubleshoot the document, that is the creation and troubleshooting of the document, style sheets, scripts and images that makes up a site. At website design firms, the team that handles the creation of the files that make up the website or template for pages that get assembled dynamically is usually known as the development or the production department. So that is the development part that is also used for the production department. That is also a part of the production criteria that is used with the fulfillment of the production methods. And web developers, yeah, sure, PDF, Larry, I will send you the PDF. So I will finish the class over here only till development, no issues. All right, bye bye. So web designers may not design the look or the structure of the site themselves, but they do need to communicate well with the designer. So it's the responsibility of the web designers that may not design the look or the structure of the site themselves, but they do need to communicate well with the designers and understand the intended site goals so that they may suggest the solution that meets the goal. So whatever the goal, whatever the criteria that is dealing with, that is deal with the document, that is deal with the designing part, that is deal with the production department. And the broad discipline that falls under the development are authoring, styling and the scripting programming. So how to develop that? So there are three parts that falls under the development. That is the authoring part, that is the styling part, and that is the scripting programming part. So there are three parts that falls under the development. There are three categories that is covered under the development. So one is the authoring, one is the styling, and one is the scripting. Right. So let's stop over here only, and in the next class, that in the tomorrow's class, I am taking your these we can say the broad disciplines of the development, that is the authoring, styling and the scripting programming. So that's all for today's session. Thank you so much everyone for listening me, and if there is any doubts, any suggestions and anything, any query, then you can ask the doubts from me. So thanks a lot everyone. Bye bye. We will meet tomorrow with the development. All right, Miti Jamin, I will share the book right now.